Jovi and Yara had yet another fight on this week's episode of 90 Day Fiancé. Is Yara acting crazy? Should Jovi kick her to the curb? Let's break it down. Hey, it's Dave Allen, the dating specialist. I help high-profile singles and couples achieve lasting love through the mastery of proven skills. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now so you can see how to deal with relationship issues like the ones we'll be talking about today. In this video, I'll be talking about this week's episode of 90 Day Fiancé. Reality TV shows that deal with relationships provide me with some specific situations I can respond to and share principles. As I talk to and about the people on the show, I'll be giving them the benefit of the doubt because what we are seeing on TV is not the full story. This week, I'll be focusing on the interaction between Jovi and Yara. I'll be speaking to each of them as if they're my clients. Let's get started. So in this latest episode, Yara and Jovi have another, what shall we say, incident. Yara goes to pick up Jovi at the airport around 9 in the morning. Jovi is finishing the alcoholic drink he had in the plane. Yara freaks out. She won't let it go. What is happening? Here's what Jovi's saying about the situation.
I'm expecting her to be happy, be excited to see me, and the first thing she does is complain. She's mad because I had a drink when I got off the plane. I'm pretty sure Yara drinks on the plane all the time when she flies, so I don't see any reason. I think she's just looking for something to argue about.
This reaction from Jovi makes total sense based on what he's seeing from his perspective. Now here's what Yara is saying about the situation.
He don't want to grow up and stop partying. And I need to tell him about pregnancy, but now I even don't know if I do want to marry him or if I don't.
As you can see, for Yara, this is a much deeper issue than a single drink early in the morning. It is the meaning she is putting on that drink that is making it very emotional for her. So what's happening is that drink early in the morning that Jovi has is what we call a situational trigger that is triggering one of Yara's core fears. What does that mean? Have you ever had something happen and you found yourself overreacting to it like more than the situation would seem to warrant? That's what's happening. If you see that in yourself or in your partner, that means there's some kind of situation that is triggering an underlying core fear. It's kind of like an iceberg. Up above the surface of the water is the tip of the iceberg, and that's the situational trigger. There's some situation that on its face is just a small thing, but underneath the water is the rest of that iceberg, which is much larger than the tip of the iceberg, and that's where the core fear is. So it's really important to be able to identify your core fears and the core fears of your partner. In this case, Yara's core fear is something to the effect of, hey, I'm pregnant with Jovi's child, and Jovi isn't ready to stop partying and settle down. When she sees Jovi take that drink early in the morning, it comes to represent the fact that he may not stop partying and not be able to settle down, and that makes her afraid. Now, Jovi may have a core fear or fears here as well. He might be afraid of settling down and then not being happy. And so when Yara has these big negative reactions to him having a drink in the morning, it seems like, oh man, if I settle down in this situation, am I not going to be happy? Now, most conflicts in our relationships, if not all conflicts, have at their foundation these core fears. We're hitting on each other's core fears, and that's what's causing the conflicts in the first place. And that's why it's so key, this principle of situational triggers that hit on core fears is so key to understand and to get better at recognizing each other's core fears. So let's talk about what that looks like. Yara, I want to talk to you first. Here's the process you can go through. Recognize in yourself when a core fear has been triggered. When you see that you have emotionally reacted to something maybe bigger than it warrants, than the situation warrants, that can set off a little flag inside that says, okay, a core fear might have been triggered here. I need to figure out what this is really about. So that's the next step. Ask yourself what this is really about. Try to identify your core fear or fears. Once you've done that, clearly communicate that core fear to your partner and help them understand how they can support you. So for example, in this case, once you've realized that Jovi having a drink in the morning is just the situational trigger, but there's this other core fear. You might express that. Jovi, I'm pregnant. I know that you have a history as a partier. I'm afraid that you're not ready to settle down and take on the responsibility of a wife and children. It makes me feel insecure. Can you help me feel confident that you're ready to take this step? From there, you might brainstorm together some actions he can take to help you feel safe and secure and alleviate your fears. Now, it's probably going to be a process of time for that to happen. You're going to have to work together as a couple in solving that problem and addressing that core fear. Jovi, let's look at it from your perspective. So you're seeing your partner react in this very emotional way, again, to a very small situational trigger. So when you see that happening, recognize, hey, there's probably a core fear here that has been triggered. There's something deeper going on. And so you can work to find that out. Put your arm around your partner, make eye contact, try to discover what their core fears might be through asking questions. So for example, you sit Yara down, again, you put your arm around her, you look her in the eye, you say, Yara, it seems like me having this drink this morning really upset you. I don't think I've seen you get this upset at similar situations in the past. I feel like there might be something else going on. Why are you feeling so upset about me having a drink this morning? As Yara responds to your questions, be sure to listen for what her core fear or fears might be. Once that starts to come out, reflect back to her to make sure you understand. So for example, you might say something like, hey, it sounds like the fact that I'm drinking this morning makes you feel afraid that I'm not ready to stop partying, settle down, and take care of a wife and children. Is that right? So those are just a few examples of how you might handle this situation, how you might recognize the situational triggers and the core fears that will help you in your communication and in your conflict management as you are working to build lasting love together. So those are some of my thoughts on this latest episode of 90 Day Fiancé. If you're struggling to find lasting love, this is what you're going to do. Click the link in the description below to go to my calendar. Schedule an intake session with me and then fill out your personalized needs assessment. After your intake session, I'll create a personalized lasting love action plan that is matched to your specific needs to help you find the healthy and happy relationship you're longing for. Now that may sound a little bit clinical, but it's one of the things that makes my services different. You're gonna love the results. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and ring that notification bell.